Upon Strike Force Shadowspear's clandestine descent to the surface of Nemendgast, it immediately became apparent that the world had fallen. Having gathered his elite vanguard forces to him, Akaran formulated a detailed battle plan to secure the destruction of the Black Legion's stronghold, the Forge in Furnace. Shadowspear is a 2019 boxed set for Warhammer 40,000 8th edition, bringing Primaris Space Marines into conflict with the Daemon Kin. To replicate these events in the Warhammer 40k Conquest universe, we see chaos against the Imperium as we play Captain Cato Sicarius against Zarathur. Hello and welcome to another episode of Conquestadore, where some South Africans are still playing the Warhammer 40k Conquest card game. My name is Tristan.
And my name is Stefan.
And Stefan is here from Unplug Yourself, the Unplug Yourself Revolution. Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Okay, so very simply, Unplug Yourself is an initiative that promotes tabletop gaming. Simplest way to do that is to showcase games, give people an opportunity to play them.
And for this very reason, you are here, and we're happy that you are here. Thank you for showcasing this game with us. You are playing the Warlord Captain Cato Sicarius.
Yes,
playing the
good guys.
And I get to joyously play the bad guys, as if anyone who's watched the series before knows, I always play random armies. So Zarathur, the High Sorcerer, has an ability when damage is assigned to an enemy unit at this planet, increase that damage by 1.
Okay. Captain Cato has an ability, it says a reaction. After an enemy unit at this planet is destroyed, I gain a resource.
You'll be making that money. However, in awareness of this, I think, in the first turn, I've already played a Prometheum mine and now just put down a rogue trader to try get some economic stronghold, I guess. And all you've done is deep struck or at least put in reserves a unit.
That's correct, yeah. You came off the mark pretty quick here. So it did make me a little concerned that I'm going to have to really catch up before you start to snowball any advantage that you have.
And here, you might have seen the edit there. You wanted to put down Sicarius as chosen, and we realized in order to move my unit off that planet, you'd have to put him at planet 3.
That's correct, yeah. Obviously, he's got the reaction ability there. But the sequence is important if you really want to maximize on what you're trying to get out of the reaction.
Correctamundo. So now you've moved my unit off, and I'm like, well, we're not making as much money as we were. So now I put down the Fortress of Madness, which is that standard reduce the cost of a card. Oh, yes, and you killed it. That's the thing. The Rogue Trader was meant to die because you do 1 damage to it.
That's correct, yeah. We hadn't picked up that initially, but that was obviously the whole purpose behind initiating that reaction, moving him from where he was so that he get moved over and not just, get a nice welcome when he gets there.
Corrected. And because you did that, correct. Because you did that, I see you promoted your unit. Well done to them for doing a thing. And the last thing I think I did was put down a Splintered Path Acolyte. Nothing hectic. They're just a cultist, and they have the ability that you can sacrifice them to reduce the cost of deploying a demon unit, which I can't remember if I did in this game. So we go to command phase, we commit our warlords, and we both go to planet 4.
Yes, funny enough. I think we both suspected that that's going to be a valuable planet. We really wanted to see the results coming out of that one. So it just happened to be that we both went for it at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So you get we actually get equal card draw here. No, not even. The Splintered Path Acolyte does give me command. So we both drew 2 cards for that command phase. You spend your last resources and you deploy.
I deploy the Deathwing Terminators, but obviously using its Deep Strike ability.
Mm-hmm. Which means they appeared as the battle started at planet 1. There's no one to fight against, so you win. They go back to HQ, and you win the planet of Iridial. And normally you get to remove all damage from a target unit, but nobody was injured.
No, they weren't. I'd specifically try to play the Deep Strike unit there so I could catch you unawares with a bit of, sleight of hand there. But obviously, I ended up getting the planet, not much else benefit, but that was good enough still.
I think I was aware that the Deathwing Terminators are a deep strike unit, and I was like, no. I know they're going to cause damage. Stay away. So that you used a shield as we fight on planet 4 where the warlords are. I swing for, I think, 2 damage normally, so 1 with his special ability, and you negate 1 of that with your shield.
Yeah, not having played the game before, I obviously needed to assess the situation very carefully. I said to myself at the start, I'm going to try and use my shields extensively. I'd rather keep a unit alive, be a card down, than lose a unit. I was always wary about that snowballing advantage that you might gain.
Mm-hmm. It's clever because anyone watching this right now should know that Stefan is an avid Magic the Gathering player. So is, even though not as experienced in this particular card game, in card games in general.
Yes, as a card advantage is an important concept, but having a threat on the battlefield is even more important than a card in hand.
I'm learning the things. So at this point, the Chaos Warlord, myself, retreats, having equal damage between the two of us. I think I must have just gone, you know what, I'm not willing to take damage as much as this, because we both know that the Iridial, the planet that gives you the ability to heal your Warlord, is not even in play anymore. So if we're going to keep hitting each other, we're just going to get bloodied.
That's correct, yeah. And obviously the onus was on you being the player that played first, so I could really base my decisions around what you were doing. It put me in a bit of an advantageous position there.
Mm-hmm. And we reveal the new planet as we go to turn 2. Taurus is now our new planet, other than Yvarn, Karnath, Eloith, and Balus. It's nice that I've learned these planets eventually. All right, so we draw 4 resources and 2 new cards, and the initiative goes to you, the Space Marines. What do we have going up first there? An Eager Recruit. That's a tiny little unit. Swings for 2, has a health of 1, and I think we spoke about this. It has the ability Ambush, which means you could sneakily put it in during a battle, but you chose to put it down now.
Yeah, admittedly, I glossed over that part of the card. I was a little eager, like my recruit, and obviously I wanted things stationed around the first planet there because I knew that's where the conflict was going to start. I probably could have maximized a bit more on him if I did use the Ambush ability, but we live and we learn.
Profound coming out of its card game. And also because the first planet had all 3 icons, which is a very strong card to play at the beginning. So you got 3 icons already. If you can get the second green one at this current first planet, you're in good stead to win the game.
Exactly, yeah.
So now, I think I've paid monies. There we go. For Zarathur's Flamers, the signature squad unit for Zarathur himself. It's just a demon unit. It has the action that if you sacrifice this unit, you can deal 2 damage to a target non-warlord unit at the same planet. He's quite cool. Blows himself up to do some damage. This excited me, playing this card. The Vicious Bloodletter, an expensive unit, but has the ability to have Area Effect 3.
That was very scary.
I've never played this card before until this game, and oh man, very excited, very exciting. Except there's only one other unit at that planet.
That's true. It obviously also forced me to make sure that I don't really overcommit. You don't want to get 3 for 1 or 2 for 1 or 4 for 1. And having that as a recurring ability on a card, as I said, it was very scary seeing that sitting opposite from me.
So now we see Chaos, my Warlord Zarathur, and his Splintered Path Acolyte committing to Planet 1 to maybe get a little bit of command, fight for that planet. You send your Warlord all the way to the last planet. Can you recall, what is it you're thinking over there? What is that, Taurus?
I was eager to really get that ability that was there.
If you control fewer units than your opponent, gain 3 resources or 3 cards.
Yeah. I'd spent a few cards, I think, between the first 2 turns. I wasn't too happy with my hand, even though at this point in time I do have a full grip. I really just wanted to cycle through my deck, and I said to myself, the best way to do that is by fighting towards this last planet. You'd obviously already committed quite a few of your cards to some of the other planets, so I felt this was an opportunity for me to really strike, make sure I get in there.
But now in having 1 Balus, which was quite easy against your Eager Recruit, I get to discard one of your cards. How interesting. And luckily it's a Dreadnought.
That's correct, yeah. What you didn't know at this point in time is that I had a second Dreadnought in hand.
I did not know that. Yeah. And it's the thing about Space Marines, man. You never know what they're going to have. Exterminatus. What's that thing that erases damage again? Indomitable.
Indomitable.
You could have all these things in your hand at any point. Scary, scary, scary. All right, so you win Taurus. You have fewer units, so you can choose to draw 3 cards or get 3 resources.
That was also consideration for having gone to Taurus, because I knew that you had some pretty heavy deployments earlier in the round. So I said, I can be a bit more reserved, make sure I get the benefit, and I haven't committed anything to the board that might potentially die.
Got you. And now at this point, starting turn 3, you have a planet that has all 3 icons. I only have a planet with a green symbol or icon.
Yeah, I felt like I was off to a good start. Obviously, having a planet with 3 icons sets me up that I can really be selective after that. I can go in almost every direction.
So we draw our 4 resources, the Chaos getting 1 from the mine, and the initiative goes to the Chaos. And I'm pumping out these neutral cards, hey? We had 2 Rogue Traders so far. Here's a Void Pirate at Planet 4 to try get card bonus there. But it means nothing against that.
Yeah. No, the Honored Librarian, really awesome card. By himself, obviously can't be attacked as long as he's got some backup there. So he's almost using some of his mates as shields, which is really good. Sitting there by himself, but I'll obviously have a specific plan there. He's not going to be alone for too long.
Yes, he's just the first guy at the planet. So I, knowing that this is quite scary, have put down the Soul Grinder, which is a very interesting card, which I have learned to love rather deeply. It has 2 command icons. It does cost 6, but it has the ability that after I win a command struggle at this planet, your opponent must sacrifice a non-warlord unit at this planet if able. So you put down Sicarius' Chosen at the next planet to move my Soul Grinder off, which means it won't affect your Librarian.
Yeah, I was worried about the sequence of play here because obviously the Librarian by himself is bad, and you've got an effect that can really make sure that you hit him regardless of whether he, any defenses I might put up. So I was very worried about that. Luckily, I felt like you had the counter to my Librarian, but then I had the counter to your card that you played.
It's such good magic speak, that. The counter to the counter. You always have an answer for the threat. Uh-huh. All right, so Blood Angels Veterans, very good combo with Librarians. We've seen it on this channel. We've seen it in multiple games before. It's always a good setup. So very nicely played. All right, you're thinking about something here. I can't see what that is. Oh, the pattern bolter, so an attachment.
That's correct, yeah. So I've obviously got an equipment here that I can attach, or a weapon rather. I'm just deciding where best to put it. Now that I have some backup for my Librarian, it seems like the most logical choice. He's already hard to deal with. If I can just buff him up even more, makes him even more of a threat.
So what is he attacking for now with that bolter? It's a +1 attack.
It's +1 and +1 HP, so he's a 5/3 at this point in time.
That is strong. That is very strong. So you send your Warlord to there, not contesting Planet 1, and I've sent my little retinue all the way to Planet 5. I think what is more interesting to me at this point is if I have Planum's ability to move a unit, I can get that Soul Grinder back onto the planet with the Librarian.
Yeah, I was worried that you might have those types of shenanigans in play, which is why I said having 1 shield for the Librarian is good. Having 2 is even better because I didn't want to leave myself exposed to any sort of combat tricks that you might employ.
Clever. All right, so the Soul Grinder's effect working there because we won the command struggle at this point. So Planet 1 and 2 go to the Chaos. No, Planet 2 went to you, and Planet 3 to you. Planet 4 and 5. No, 5 also to you. Only 4 really goes to Chaos. 4 and 1. And Eloith becomes the possession of the Chaos, and I get to search the top 3 cards of the deck, add that 1 card to my hand, and place the remaining 2 at the bottom of the deck. So trying to get more cards here.
Yeah, we've played quite a few cards, and I think at this point in time as well, I have, again, like I said earlier, still a very full grip of cards, which puts me in an advantageous position. I think you were really trying to dig for some specific answers as well.
Ooh, and here you go and use Yvonne's ability to put into play a card from our hand, and the Dreadnought, the second Dreadnought, comes out.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about this one. As I said, you made me discard the first one, but I knew I had the second Dreadnought, and I'd sequenced things in such a play that I'd be able to put the Dreadnought out for free off of the back of this ability. It is also expensive to play, but I was never had any sort of intention of paying its actual cost. I got quite a bit of surprise when you put out something that was just as powerful, if not more, than the Dreadnought.
I was kind of happy that I got to put out that Black Legion Helldrake, because it's pretty much like the Dreadnought, except it flies.
Yeah, my happiness was short-lived.
We then go all the way to the battle at Planet 5, and I, as an action in my action window, play the Infernal Gateway, which lets me put a Chaos unit with a printed cost 3 or lower into play from my hand at the planet. If the unit is still in play at the end of the phase, you do have to sacrifice it, though. So it is temporary, but I was very happy that I got to get out the Alpha Legion Infiltrator. Very strong unit, 4 attack, but only 1 health. So just there to scream and do damage and be chaotic. Yeah. Okay, so there's a Warlord, there's 2 units. They swing. I think you have not taken damage on the Deathwing Terminator because of that.
Yes, I played the Indomitable. It's just a little great card. Reaction, just after a unit is assigned damage by an attack, prevent all of that damage.
Very easy. So now you're sitting with this massive Deathwing Terminator who probably, we can't see it on screen right now, but my Warlord is just off screen. And I have to use a 2 shield card to help him not die.
I had the Indomitable in hand, which is great because it's not a 1 or 2 or 3 shield. It's all the shields.
And I think in retaliation, I'm probably making Zarathur attack back. And the interesting thing is his ability lets, everyone do 1 more damage. So this Alpha Legion of mine is potentially swinging for 5. The Splintered Path Acolyte is only attacking for 2, but it's making them a little bit stronger until he has to run away. So now he's gone.
Yeah, it was a pretty contested battle on that last planet, but I decided that this unit was almost going to be lost in any case. I'm just going to expend him as much as I can, try and get the most amount of damage out of him. If he dies, he dies. If he lives, even better.
This is insane. So you were keeping him there to do all this damage, wanting to just, I suppose, deny me the ability to move my unit if I won the planet.
That's it, yeah. As I said, I knew I had the two Indomitables in hand, so you'd probably, from your position, think you're in a good spot to be. You've got a lot more units than I am. You're going to be doing the damage. Never assuming that I've got to be preventing a lot of them and just really throwing a spanner into the works.
It's very good. And there I had to run away because, I mean, I could swing for one. You might shield it. You might take the damage, but you're still going to be alive, and there's no point. I'll keep the Splintered Path Acolyte for something useful later. So he runs away, and you get to move a unit now. In comes your Dreadnought.
Yeah. Because you've got the initiative in this round, I'm the last one to react, which gives me a bit of a good position. This is, I can assess all of the information. And like I said in that last one, because I played the Indomitables, it's that last crackback that potentially kills off your unit, which is why I was able to keep them there, force you to retreat. All in all, I was pretty happy with the result of that.
It's looking really strong for the Space Marines at this point. You've got a lot of units out. They're very strong. You're across all of the planets. And I think what we have done here, we've started playing, because the initiative has gone to you, but we haven't moved up the planets. I'm assuming we'll do this eventually.
No, we hadn't yet. So what I've got in my hand is the Talisarian Tempest Blade. It's a relic weapon. Attached unit gets +1 attack and gains armor bane. So shields cannot be used while it's attacking.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we are pausing just before we attach it. We're like, wait, make sure the planets are spacious. We know which one's one. Here we go. And we'll see where you attach it. To the librarian.
I attach it to the librarian. Yeah.
So wait, now how strong is he?
So he's got 7 attack and he's got 3 defense. And obviously you can't use any shields against him. And for all intents and purposes, while he's got a buddy, he's virtually untouchable. Wow. So he's a elusive hard hitter.
So that's super scary. I can't remember how I was feeling in this game at this point. I must have had answers, and if not, I was sweating bullets. In response, I don't see what I did there. Oh, I put out a Void Pirate at Planet 5, and you get another Blood Angels Veterans out.
Yeah. So he's great because when his reaction is that after he's been assigned damage, I can prevent one of that damage. He's got 3 attack and he's got 3 defense as well. So it's like he's got an extra defense in there. Pretty good. It means I don't have to spend shields.
Nice. And he's at Planet 1. So there what you see from the Chaos player, myself, is the Zarathur's Flamers are deployed by sacrificing that Splintered Path Acolyte, because that is his ability. And over here you got a drop pod played. Very nicely done. Is that it? Yes, that is. It is a drop pod being played. And we sit and we think. Usually I edit out a lot of the think tank stuff, but clearly this was important. Promoting the Void Pirate to just stop your Deathwing Terminators from dominating the battlefield from so far away.
Yeah.
He's really been doing a lot, eh?
He has been doing a lot, yeah. In some of these turns, there was really a lot of thinking going on because I think the smallest advantage could snowball later on. So we were trying to sequence our plays very carefully.
Now this, I'm thinking, oh gosh, I can't remember what we did because you have the initiative. Where do we commit to here? Oh, we both go to Planet 1. Oh, that's lovely. Nice little fight.
There's a pattern here.
So how many planets have been won here? I'd won 2 planets, a green and a blue, and you'd won 1 planet with all 3 icons. Okay, so you needed essentially a red and a blue, and you were 2 points up.
Yeah, so 2 symbols on the first planet, 3 on the second planet. So my idea here was just if I can take another 2 planets, I'd be in a pretty good spot.
Oh, something we need to comment on there. The Soul Grinder, having won the command struggle at Planet 3, meant you had to sacrifice a unit, and that Dreadnought had to go.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. As I said, I wasn't too unhappy about losing the first Dreadnought because I had a second, but the second one never really had a chance to do anything.
Oh, I don't know how I would have handled that. So we're fighting at Planet 1 after this command struggle. You swing with your Sicarius Chosen. I shielded for 1 to keep something alive. I can't remember what you were attacking. And now the Vicious Bloodletter does 3 damage to everything, and you get to shield 1 of those to keep your warlord alive.
Yeah, there's a pretty intense battle that we had here. It's all going to be like, who's going to be the last man standing? So I was trying to pull out all the stops to make sure that would be me. You can see there's a lot of damage on my units.
Yeah, that Blood Angels Veterans, again, for anyone who knows the card, obviously it takes 2 damage instead of 3 because it is readied, so it negates 1 damage.
But you are also busy dealing an extra damage here, so that was something for me to keep in mind.
Good
It
point.
was a great negate to the abilities that I had.
Over here, though, in retaliation, you did bloody my Warlord, so you were making it now harder for me to win planets later on because I'm going to have to try avoid damage. Yeah. Right, so you swing the Blood Angels Veterans, and beautiful play. Yes, you swing to the Vicious Bloodletter once, which means he's still alive, except now, Fury of Sicarius, he must die.
Yeah, it was great the fact that I had this card to play, so I could really get in that extra effect there. Some of these battles I'm very close to losing, and it's a matter of playing the card that gives me the advantage, not what is on the board already. There's a few times I think I've managed to swing the advantage to my side just simply by playing cards.
Over here, we reset, so that's the first round of combat, and we have an action window after either of us can choose whether to retreat. It's your initiative, so you have to decide first. It looks like you save your Warlord.
I was considering what would happen if he became bloody, and I said it's better to just retreat. I might have to give up the planet, but in the long run, having a non-blooded Warlord I felt outweighed the current advantages.
Also, having killed off that Vicious Bloodletter, you should have gotten a resource. I wasn't watching the video very closely, but I hope you did take a resource for having killed a unit, because that's your ability.
I may have, I can't remember.
You swing to Zarathur's Flamers, and then in retaliation, the Helldrake breathes hellfire on the Blood Angels and wins the planet.
I lost the planet there, but I did manage to bloody your Warlord. So all in all, again, I didn't take my primary objective, but the second one I was pretty happy to settle with.
It is a nice payoff. I mean, it's fair, given what was happening there. So now, which other planet do I choose to activate from Carnath? Obviously, Planum to move my Soul Grinder to this planet, because with the way things are lined up at this point, this is the planet that I can win on. And if you get it, you're 2 points and 1 away then from winning yourself. So it's what I need to throw all my weight behind at this point. Fortunately, initiative changes, start of turn 4. We draw cards, we take resources. And this is the last play. What's it going to be? The Turbulent Rift. This is such a lovely little card. I think this is one that lets me play something to the field. It's a location reaction after you deploy an elite unit, deal 1 damage to that unit to deal 1 damage to each enemy unit at the planet. So it's a little support card in waiting. You also get down the fortress for the Space Marines, which I think is the one that reduces the cost.
Yeah, it's the first location that I've seen throughout the game, but unfortunately a little too late in the last round. You really want that to accelerate your gameplay, and drawing it so late in the game, it's almost...
It's like going turbo at the last leg of the race. Baleful Mandrake coming out for the Chaos, only now seeing who the Chaos are aligned with, obviously Dark Eldar. And I think the massive gesticulating of my hand there is explaining how ranged works.
Yes.
So I'll get to swing in before anything else. So really at this point, I'm just trying to set up. And you just go, hey, Librarian, you have all these weapons, also be promoted.
Yeah, no, it's the bachelor's, the master's, and the doctor's degrees.
You have everything. Such a smart librarian. I mean, that's terrifying if you look at it.
It is very scary. And obviously he's got the perfect combination because he's partnered with Blood Angel Veterans, which, as I said, has a built-in shield effect. So even if you do get rid of the buddy, it's going to be a harder job than normal.
Yeah. So over here, obviously using my support to pay slightly less to get the Possessed out, which swings for 9, which is lovely. Using the Turbulent Rift to then do 1 damage to it, so that there's 1 damage done to both of your units.
Yeah. So here with the Honored Librarian, we do an academic study and realize that in actual fact, the Talisarian Tempest Blade has to be attached to a unique unit, which the Honored Librarian is not.
Correct. So he's not as terrifying.
Yeah, just to correct that error there, obviously just gave me an opportunity to move it to my only unique character that I had on the field, which was my Warlord.
Okay, making sense. Which maybe means, I mean, he didn't swing previously. Maybe he could have swung for slightly more and done more damage early in the game. Who knows how it might have done things differently. So We commit, obviously, to the first planet because you've got to defend it. Otherwise, I would win the game easily. I send my units there knowing that my warlord is bloodied. And if you swing once with your honored librarian, he could die.
Yes, yeah. It all really comes down to this battle. This is going to be the decider. As you said, if I let you take it, you win the game immediately. Even with me committing a lot of my resources, it's still going to be a tough challenge. And I knew that, obviously, you're overwhelming me in terms of forces. If I let you get rid of the Blood Angels veterans, suddenly my honored librarian is exposed.
Over here, you had to lose the Blood Angels because of the Soul Grinder's effect. Because I had more units with command icons, we win the command struggle, and therefore you had to sacrifice a unit.
Yeah, I was also aware of that, which is why I knew I had to bring my warlord into the mix.
Mm-hmm. And there I just go and be the most sneaky one could possibly be and play Archon's Terror at the opportune moment to rout your librarian, just so you know what, there is a paper that needs to be written back in your office. You need to go.
Yeah, that was terrible for me.
Sorry, watching this back, I'm going, ooh, that was terrible. That was really rude.
I was already in a tough spot. 3 units versus 6 became 2, became 1. Things started going downhill for me very, very quickly.
Oh, yes, that's us calling the game because you're like, the last card I have in my hand is a mine. There's nothing we can do there. Stefan, thank you so much for this game. This was lots of fun. It was really quick, but I hope you enjoyed it.
No, I had a great time. It's my first time playing it. It was very enjoyable. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, man, this was so lekker. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, comment below. If you want to watch more, find them. And we look forward to seeing you for one of our last videos very soon.
And if anyone's interested in checking out Unplug Yourself and its various initiatives, please check out unplugyourself.co.za. Otherwise, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
Bye.